Hello everyone on the internet and thanks for tuning in. I'm RyuKiva of RyuKiva Toku. Shiny Breaker! We definitely do not want to get sued. Any of his products, just the actual person, right? Well, as long as you're sure on that. How you doing, my man? Right. We've discussed this. I'm still not sure, but I will let you make your case as we talk about the episode. Because we are talking about episode 35 of Kiramager. But first, let's talk Zenkaiger news, because literally today we have had the drop of a mad image. Zenkaiger. How are you feeling about this image? Right, see, this is the thing. Like, again, it's one of those Zenkaiger rumors. Like, because I'm pretty sure we had the same rumor for Kiramager and maybe one or two Sentai of days old about, oh, the team's going to be mecha, the team's going to be cyborgs, which would be a real 70s throwback, especially where Kamen Riders were referred to as cyborgs. But I'm still skeptical on this. I mean, I think if I remember correctly, even with Zuojo, it was supposed to be robots, and then it turned out that four human animals and one human. Whereas, like, again with Zenkaiger, who knows? But this reveal of Zenkaiser, now it's crazy because I was hearing all these rumors like, oh, this guy's going to be predominantly white coloured. And I'm just like, really? I mean, because when you look at things like Jacka, and everyone's been talking about Jacka for quite some time now, like, I mean, I am still totally unfamiliar with Showa Sentai, but I know the images. I know that you had like the four Jaka, and then big one, as you referred to, appears. But like, yeah, I'll still say that, even where we had the silhouette revealed quite a while ago, maybe a week or two ago, I've then been seeing a lot of fan art online, and people were really jumping on this big one bandwagon. So ironically, even when people were like, "Oh, this is just my fan art," it's like, wow, like you look at this Zen Kaiser, image leak, and it's like, wow, a lot of this fan art looks like. So even with this being an acclaimed magazine leak scan from a cover, I think you told me earlier, I'm actually still skeptical. I'm actually still skeptical because, again, you've got like all these Showa Sentai references in one suit. It almost seems too good to be true. I mean, again, it'll be quite a big renovation for the franchise for the year, and again, it's going to be the 45th. It's an anniversary, and all these rumors about, like, again, we've been talking for quite a few weeks on what the mecha's going to be like again. Like I've talked about my best friend Jukemon22 and some of the stuff he leaked about a month ago in regards to the mecha being tributes to previous Gatai mecha like Daizujin, Gao Ranger. I mean, I've heard rumors also that, like the ones that they've picked to tribute are actually other anniversary Sentai, with the exception of Zoo Ranger, because it was like, because apparently they really want to jump on the Power Ranger bandwagon, apparently. But that's the thing though, because like, I mean, even though this isn't Rider talk, like with Bluefin, they've been trying to push Kamen Rider merchandise onto you guys for quite some time. But even recently, Bluefin Brands has had to cancel the release of the O's belt. But when it comes to Sentai, I mean, yeah, sure, we've had the Shout Factory DVD releases, we've had like the streaming services, but I'm not entirely sure why they would choose this to try and make a breakthrough with the very current Sentai. But still, like, coming back to like this specific magazine scan, again, I'm still somewhat skeptical, because even though I've seen it leaked on about 3 or 4 blogs and a couple of Twitters, no one's saying who's leaked it. Now, obviously, if this had Duke 122 printed on it, I would have taken it with a massive pinch of salt, and I'd still be bitching about it. Ironically, I still am. So, like, I went and hit up Duke 122, and I see that a few days ago he also leaked what he reckons the base will look like. And again, not too sure what his sources are, but the base is like very reminiscent of that Go Ranger flying base, but it's more like along the lines of like Gower Ranger's Flying Island base, if I'm not mistaken. And it looks quite cool. And again, and ironically, this flying bird thing does look a lot like the magazine scan we've had of Zenkaiger this, today. So, like, there's a lot flying on. There's, like, literally people are going to be hyped about this. I do think it's incredibly ironic that a lot of the fan art is looking like this final image, assuming this is the final image, and then we are waiting for some proper official material to drop. Am I correct on that one? It's not only like the non-favorite. It's kind of like it got cut short because of how unpopular it was in terms of both viewing figures and toy sales. So, but then at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, the character from Big One was one of the characters from Go Ranger itself. I'm not sure. Am I bullshitting? I'm not Duke 122. Was Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that. That's some crazy stuff. But just to wrap up the Zenkaiger stuff, again, I mean, again, like it would make sense because for a long it would make sense because for a long time Battle Fever J was regarded as the first Sentai because Jaka and Go Ranger were counted out, and then at some point they decided to count Go Ranger and Jaka after all, bearing in mind Go Ranger is 3 years long. But I will still say, like, when it comes to Zenkaiger, let's really push for a good image. I mean, hopefully a magazine scan, and maybe we'll get some proper sources. But now, talking about Go Ranger and old Sentai references, let's go on to Kiramager episode 35. So we are breaking into what I call the final third, what I can also call the final 15, although it's not strictly going to be 50 episodes long, especially with the COVID hiatus we had earlier this year. But as we do break into the final third, it is quite weird for me to see it start with a filler episode. However, just as early Heisei wouldn't really do major episodes until the very near end of the run, this episode really did feel reminiscent of early Heisei Sentai. Now, what isn't to love about an adorable character acting delinquent, but as Kiramager has its precedent on putting clever spins on the tropes and cliches of old, to me personally, it didn't disappoint. How about for you? Again, filler episode, but sure. It certainly did. No, absolutely. I mean, whenever they pick like a very strong theme for a monster of the week, a kaiju, it's quite cool. I mean, because like the fact that they started off with the enlarged kaiju, it didn't make sense to me. And obviously, the good thing about this episode is how it unfolds to make sense. So that was clearly a golf cart on the top of this kaiju. But so to actually touch on that again, Admittedly, I found the first few minutes quite haphazard and disorganised, but at least we come to understand, what's going on, and I personally had some interest in how they unfolded Mabushina's antics, and this whole episode was pretty much the plot of The Hangover. Am I wrong? I mean, you're the one that normally likes your film references, but this is a semi-recent reference, right? So, there are massive props to this episode. The fact that there were Bokenja and Zyuoja references here, and I know you want to touch on Go Ranger in a bit, but the mad props definitely goes to one of my favourite Sentai actors, Magiello, aka Beatbuster, aka the ice seller in Kiramager. An amazing new notch on his belt. No wonder Yodonna took to this Earth dessert. It was. Did you? I mean, this is it. Because obviously, where you're newish to the channel, I don't know if you're familiar with this actor. He played Magiello. He went on to play Beatbuster in Tokume Sentai Go Busters, my favourite Sentai. Check out my tokusatsu chart rundown. It is. Go Ranger is. Right. Awesome. I mean, again, obviously this is technically relevant because he makes an appearance. So, again, even if you watch, when they did the Go Kaija versus Go Busters movie, they make a reference to this actor having both roles. So, to jump to Kiramager, I don't know what was behind him appearing in this episode, in episode 35. But I'm going to recognise this guy from a mile off. You can't put someone like that in there and not expect me to not recognise him. So yes, that was him. That was Magiello. That was Beatbuster. He was on a bike selling ice. And then Yodonna takes to it. It's insane. So, to be fair, when it comes to Japan and COVID, their situation's going up and down, but it is what it is. Hopefully, again, we're all considering Sentai an escape from this mad reality that we all actually live in, right? So, let's go into this whole golf thing. So, you've already said, and I'm going to say, I am not the biggest fan of golf. But there were some amazingly clever golf puns here, including the way the episode was solved by Mabushina herself. I mean, I can, to an extent, criticise once again the way that fiction is stretched in a kids' show. Like, headbutting the table shouldn't have completely destroyed the table, or how quickly Mabushina was intoxicated by Ocha. Though, she is an alien, so maybe I can cut her some slack, mainly because of how kick-ass she was in this episode. I don't know if you noticed her flying headbutts or her double kicks, but damn, that was insane. Are you sure about that? She's bright blue. She's bright blue and metallic. How distinctive do you need her to be? Because she's a support. Yeah, because she's a support character. She's I mean, again, to me, to pick one of my top 5 Sentai, Q Ranger. So Mabushina does give me a lot of reminiscence of Washi Pink. So even though Washi Pink was a Pink Ranger, obviously, she was more doing all the nerdy stuff in in Q Voyager, right? So, but obviously Mabushina isn't a ranger. I mean, well, not yet. Anyway, who knows? Still got a few more episodes to go. But the fact is, to me, she does smack a lot of Washi Pink just without being a ranger as well. Yeah, but I'll still say that there were some very clever references to Sentai of old here. Maybe they are trying to hype us up for Zenkaiger. So yes, I know I'm not going to take it away from you, but I know you want to reference Go Ranger in this particular Hisatsu scene. maybe. I mean, again, like we're sort of touching on the Zenkaiger news again because it's such a big drop. But still, to actually come back to the episode, I mean, again, like you see this Hisatsu attack where, and again, it's a very clever golf pun where it's like par five. They then do it in two shots, which is an eagle, and they do it in that go range away. And then you then see Kirame Red just say Kirame Eagle, which is definitely a reference to Zyuohger. Um, it is a reference to Go Range because they pass the ball down. They pass the ball down the line. It's insane. Oh, I mean, that could have been why Zyuohger might have had that as well, though, right? Sure, but just to quickly finish off, I mean, technically this was a Silver Ranger episode, but he spent most of it trapped in the kaiju, which was actually quite a clever spin on why the massive kaiju was hesitant. Obviously, we do see Gaza come down, and the way they solved the episode was a bit cliche, a bit corny, a bit cheesy in my opinion, but it was still valid. And obviously, we get this crazy ending where, again, it's a bit cliche. They just do it all over again. So, any final thoughts on Kiramager 35 from you? well, Well, this is it. At the end of the day, like, golf's a rich man's sport, basketball isn't, so that's exactly why they can take advantage of that sort of land. But me, I used to be good. I used to be big on darts, but unfortunately, I'm not. But I'm not big. I've never played actual golf, but I am pretty decent on mini golf. So I will leave it there. And so thank you all for watching. And you can catch us all on the social medias as per usual. You can catch my boy Mikupink at Irrational International on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. And I know he's been working on our Instagram and Facebook stories lately, which is us at Toku Bros. Facebook, Instagram, the Discord server, Reddit, and his very YouTube channel, as well as Twitter at Toku Bros 71. And finally, myself, RyuKiva of RyuKiva Toku, where ironically I am having Sentai Week on my Toku unboxing on my YouTube channel. But and it is Go Busters as well, by the way, so you need to tune in, boyo. So I am also regularly on my own social medias on Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, Discord, Reddit, and Twitter, as well as my URL, ryukivatoku.wordpress.com. So thank you all very much for watching. We hope to see you again next time. And as always, fist through the cam. See you next time.